Hey everyone, it's very late my time, but the Perseus was just released and we're going to have a look together. So this is going to be a bit of an impromptu, non-rehearsed sort of video, and I'll try to add more of these sort of videos in this series. Now, the RSI Perseus, I think this was in development since 2020, so it's been 5 years. So somebody posted on Reddit a picture of this ship, and they basically said that or they were trying to say that it's very similar to the concept design, which is nice to see. I remember I had Polaris at one point, but I didn't like it, so I kind of melted it, and I'm happy about that because the initial design of what the Polaris was supposed to be was so different from the actual end result, which is fair enough because, you know, CIG, they had different ways of developing ships in the past to the way they're developing them today. So this is what the Perseus looks like. She's got two size 8 cannons on the top and the bottom. It's a very, I don't know, menacing ship with a lot of strong firepower. And she also has those mini guns, whatever they are, rail guns. I'm not sure what they're called. Not rail guns. They're like mini ballistic guns that she has there as well for large fighters, because large fighters will challenge the ship, and probably the size 8s might not be fast enough to hit those targets, but then those other miniguns will be able to. So we'll have a look at the ship up close. It's got docking collar. I think the docking collar is actually replicated on both sides, which is nice to see. There's a lot of very fine detail, and as we get closer we see more of the ship. There's windows next to the docking collar. I think that's the same as on the other side. It's completely replicated, which is good. There's more visibility from the ship. RSI is known for these sort of like heavy metals, sort of, I don't know what to call them. It's like not military as per se, but just sort of these really tough ships. And usually they have a lot of struts. So we're going to have a look at how the bridge looks a little bit later. But this is one of the landing gears. It looks pretty cool. It looks like, I guess it's slightly worn out. It's supposed to be worn out, but it looks really, really nice. A lot of attention to detail, a lot of fine attention to detail, and the lighting, the new lighting tech that's gone into Star Citizen really shows, as we can tell from that orange light. It looks really cool, just the way the shadow is cast and the way the lighting is. This game is, you know, starting to head into the right direction, I would say. I think a lot of people are kind of enjoying Star Citizen, or recently have been, because of its playability. So now is actually a really good time to get into the game. If you're interested, definitely do so. Here are the engines, really beautiful engines, and it gives me hope because I have the Orion and I also have the Galaxy. Those are RSI ships. Here we see, I think, what looks like PDC turrets, and there's, I think, 6 of them on the ship. Wow, that just moved so quickly. There's one on the bottom and one on the top there, and I wish that like ships like the Clarett would have some PDCs as well, so they could get some extra defense. But some of these older ships, they take a while to get to kind of get worked on, and I hope they will now that the Liberator has been announced. Here's another view of the Perseus from the other angle. Again, very, very beautiful. A lot of attention to detail. And I feel like it's better than the Polaris in the sense that the Polaris had too much fine detail. Somebody at Inforunners described it as greebling, a lot of greebling. But the way I would describe it is just too much attention to detail. People like these sort of smooth metallic paints. They don't like too much like fine detail because it detracts from the kind of general shape or aesthetic of the ship. And I don't personally mind it with the Perseus. I think the Perseus is fine. This is excellent ship, and I love the size of the Perseus. She's not too big, not too small. We're going to see what she's like on the inside in a moment. Again, with me, you guys are getting a first-hand look. We're going to open up this elevator here. And we get this light that shines right away when we click it. It's really neat and interesting. And here we go. That's the elevator. That was nice. And then we'll see if we can get the cargo hold or cargo elevator open as well. Oh, that's also really cool. So we've got the cargo elevator and you've got the personal elevator. And all the buttons are placed, you know, where you can visibly see them. They're large. Not like the Polaris. I had some difficult time with the Polaris finding a way to get in when I first got that ship. Anyway, let's go up with the personal elevator. So they were saying that pressurization is going to be a thing in Star Citizen. So if you go up this elevator, the ship is not going to get depressurized. So this sort of area here is supposed to depressurize you. But if you open up this sort of storage area, it will depressurize this entire bay. So pressurization and depressurization is really important. I think that's coming into Star Citizen soon, including hacking of doors. So every large ship, they've kind of designed a way for it to be infiltrated. So something to keep in mind. But as we walk in here, we're greeted with a lot of generous space. I think this is 96 SCU. So you could treat this ship as basically a cargo ship. Like if you were to buy this ship and if you were to do cargo runs in it, you could pay for everything. You know, it'll take time, but you could pay for everything on this ship. But it can be run as a cargo vessel, which is amazing, which is really crazy. Now, as we're exiting the elevator, I think I am going to... okay, we'll have a look at the torpedo rooms first. So there's a torpedo room on this side. It says starboard 2. And I guess this would be 1. So everything's been port 1. So I guess everything's been labeled in a sort of better way with the ship 2. So we have these 2 torpedo loading bays. We're going to have a look at them real quick. We've got fire extinguisher where we want it. Very accessible, which is always very nice. Wow, this is what it looks like. I'm just going to very, very slowly walk in here. So I guess this is where you load the torpedoes on this side here. And if you had some extra ones in the cargo, you can just drag them in and slot them in these slots. They get funneled through. And this is what the size 5 torpedoes look like. I think you have 20 of them, just from memory. But don't quote me on that. It's late night and I'm doing my very best here. And I guess the torpedoes get shot out from here. I think size 5 is a very good sort of balance. It's powerful but not overpowered, if that makes sense. And it looks aesthetically very, very beautiful and pleasing. When we look up, we have these cool red lights. And then we have the top control station. I guess in the future, probably most people will be placing an NPC there because the pilot can actually fire off the torpedoes. So you don't actually need somebody to auto-load them. But in the future, if they balance the ship more and they'll require higher crew, or if NPCs come online, then they might need somebody to actually manage the torpedoes there. Same thing with ships like the Retaliator. You'll need to do that. I know Chris Roberts mentioned something like that. Anyway, we've got these 2 airlocks on both sides, the docking doors. We're going to open one just to have a look at what it looks like. So it's pretty cool. Again, the ship, a lot of thought about pressurization and depressurization. Unlike the Asgard, which, you know, that you open the bay, it depressurizes everything, or the Valkyrie. But you know, a lot of thought has been placed into pressurization and depressurization with this ship, which is very, very cool. It's of a different standard, and that's important, you know. So this was what the docking door looks like when it extends outwards and opens. Very beautiful animation. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of fine detail that CIG has put into the ship, and really, really good lighting. I wonder what the final price of the Perseus will be. I guess I'll find out very soon in a few hours, but I probably won't be awake. But I think they've put a lot of effort into this. And I guess in the future, when a ship like the Liberator hacks these doors, they'll unload the Marines here and they'll try to cut through this door before they enter the main ship. Now, the cool thing with the protection of the ship is that you have these sort of rails on top, so you can shoot from them. You can shoot anything that tries to enter your ship from here. As I'm guessing, the enemy troops will try to kind of come around the corner and get up these ladders in some way, but they'll be pretty exposed. It's it's good. There's a lot of high ground out there, and if you have the right amount of people, then even something like a Legionnaire with Marines will have a tricky time getting in. But you know, it depends on Who? Anyway, we're going to go to the lower deck and we're going to see what else we can discover. So we were on that side before. So this is the elevator that goes down. That's the torpedo loading rooms. Immediately, when you get into the ship from the docking ring, there's a ladder which takes you upstairs and then into this sort of area where we had the control panel for the torpedo launching room on both sides. And if you get into the ship from this docking ring and docking door, then there is an immediate ladder that takes you up here. So we're going to have a look more at what's up there. So I think there's 3 levels on the ship and we're on the first level at the moment. So straight out of the docking room and through this room is the first sort of bottom turret. We're going to get into it and have a look at what it's like. So very convenient access and very quick access, which is something we want to see. The Idris, for one, to get into turrets on that ship, it takes a while. So here we go. That's what the turret looks like, and it's got a lot of visibility. It's not like some of those claustrophobic turrets on other ships. This is actually pretty cool and pretty nice. Looks pretty good. I like it. I'm gonna see if we can test some of the weapons firing just a little bit later. Hopefully I'm not gonna fall asleep. Hopefully we'll get through this together. But they've placed fire extinguishers in the right place. This ship is engineering ready. But you know, I think everything is in the right place and it's thought about really well. These are the ammo loading belts, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Or maybe these are power distribution belts. I'm not sure what they are, but I would love to imagine that these are sort of like ammunition belts of some type, you know. So a lot of fine detail and it's really cool. It's better. It's a little bit better than the concept, you know. It came out better than I thought. And I like that when you enter these areas, the lighting is, you notice how the lights are red. It's kind of like you're entering a dangerous hostile area as opposed to the blue lights where it's kind of like a safe corridor. So the lighting and the attention to detail that they've put into the ship is really quite excellent. So I really like it. So that's very good. What do we have here? We've got some component access, probably components all over the ships. I don't know what these are, but you know, some type of component access, or if it's missing a component, maybe you can hide in there, you know, if you're being boarded, and then just surprise the crew by, or surprise the invaders by eventually revealing yourself and taking them down. Who knows, right? Some type of roleplay element is always available on the ship. I love how everything is labeled. As you can tell on the top left-hand side, they've gone above and beyond with labeling and color coding this time around. So we get a ladder that takes us up, so all the way up. So that's cool and really nice lighting. We got the elevator as well, which we're gonna call. Just gonna get inside. So we've got 3 decks. We're on the lower deck. There's the main deck and the upper deck. I wish it was labeled deck 1, 2, and 3, but it's alright. And as we look at the side of the elevator, we can see that they've labeled everything really nicely. And we can have a look at the ladder as well. There's glass and you can see who's climbing up and down. So I think we're going to go level by level. So I think the best thing to do is to go to the main deck. So we're on the lower deck. We had a look around it. Now we're on the main deck. And let's see what we see here. So we've got the mess hall. Everything is labeled. So you're not going to get lost. Like I get lost on the Idris all the time. Luckily, the Idris is going through a final pass. So even though we have it in game, chances that the final Squadron 42 Idris will be even better. So that's great. And I think the Polaris, for those people who own a Polaris but don't own the ship, they will get this sort of refinement as well. So that's really, really cool. So we're on this deck at the moment. There's a cargo hold area we'll have a look at. This is emergency escape pod area. So this is what the emergency escape pods look like. I guess you'll be pressing this lever and getting in them. There's a lot of them throughout the ship. And they're labeled emergency escape pod 4, emergency escape pod 3. So yeah, if you really want to become the captain of your ship and know every sort of little bit of your ship, then this is a good thing to know. By the way, I have to say the ship looks really modern. I love it, you know. So the Perseus in lore was supposed to be... No, the Polaris in lore was supposed to be a very modern ship. The Perseus was supposed to be a very old ship. But I think the Perseus that we get in this is actually the updated version of the Perseus. So it's actually the latest RSI ship, so in lore as well. So we're getting the best of the best. So we're getting a really, really nice treat with this ship. So this is the mess hall. We're going to have a look at it real quick. I'll give you guys my sort of feelings as we get inside. So first impression. So the Clarett has all these things, all these fridges and things filled out, but here they've just kind of gave you the bare minimum, which is fine. You get to load and unload your ship with goods and different things, which is cool. I wonder how you're going to do that. I guess you carry a box and you'll put it down and you slowly unload. I guess that's the only way. But the mess hall looks really nice, actually. It's not too bad. It's a bit cramped. It's small. But that being said, you have plenty of seating, so you can sit here and relax. You've got a little sort of eatery table where the crew can get together on long voyages. This sort of fake leather with nice stitching, which is pretty cool. You got these little panels that I guess inform you of the engineering status of the ship. So that's cool too. So that's going to be useful in the future. These sort of monitors, I should say, not panels. Very nice lighting above the table. I think they should have replicated that for the pool table as well, having nice lighting above the pool table instead of it being dark. But it is what it is. I think maybe that's good enough. You just need something fun on a long voyage. Actually, you know what we could do? Oh, and there we have the pool sticks as well. And here is our pool table. I would have liked if the pool table had some type of, instead of like the gray and blue drab accents that we see everywhere, which are fine for a military ship. I wish that we had a little bit of green or red here, you know, just to change the mood a little bit, because it's a little bit too gray and blue in here. And this is supposed to be a relaxation area. And instead of an RSI logo, maybe they could have had one of those screens that you see in like Area 18, or a screen that you can switch, and then maybe there's a different image, like a desert or a sea or a mountain or something. That would have been really cool. So I think that's how it could have been improved. I love that you have pool sticks here, so they've really done a lot as far as roleplay and immersion. And I think in the future, these mini games, every large ship will have this sort of like either it's a pool table or an arcade machine or something different, snooker, tennis. I don't know what they'll have. They'll have different things like those tabletop tennis or whatever. I wanted to change the lighting and see what this room is like in a different lighting setting. I'm all about the RP roleplay aspects. I really like. I don't know if I can access this panel. Oh, that's gonna be hard. I think I'm having. Oh, there we go. So when the lights are out, very, very nice looking environment. You get these sort of like beautiful orange accents. It's really, really pleasant to the eye. I would imagine that this is kind of, I like sort of darker environments, but I prefer this a little bit more, but it's cool. I wish the ship came with these sort of auxiliary lights turned on, and you have to like turn on the light switches yourself. But I think that's, you know, maybe something they'll consider in the future. I don't know what the lighting states are like. Here's the window. You can see what's happening on the inside barely. It gives you a small sort of glimpse, but doesn't tell you a lot. I think they've overdone it a little bit with the little sort of, I don't know what you call it, brackets or metallic grooves or whatever. I think it could have been a clear and slightly bigger window, but overall I think it's quite nice. Let's have a look at engineering. So we've just got out of the mess hall. We're going to go straight to engineering, which is here. So you have all of the main components on the ship. You have a panel here to access, and I guess this is your working terminal. This is where one person is going to be working and slaving away. And you have all of your components, and you've got these pipes with this really nice red lighting above, and in this really cool, interesting looking room. I like it. It's compact, but somehow it works. Certainly for me, I like the Clarett one actually the most, as far as the way it feels. The Perseus one, the Polaris one was a little bit too large. It's a capital ship. So I kind of like these smaller ones, you know, they're straight to the point. And yeah, I like it. It's kind of like the TAC. The TAC has a small one too. Actually, the TAC might have a bigger one than this, but this is still really, really good. We're going to have a look at the crew quarters now. So we're still, so we're on the first, sorry, we're on the second deck, right? And we've just walked down this hallway. We've checked out the mess hall. We've checked out the engineering, and now we're going into the crew quarters. So these are the crew quarters. I think it's pretty nice. So it's like bunk beds, my favorite. I love bunk beds. I prefer these over the Polaris design where you had individual rooms. I always like the sort of Idris-like bunk bed system, or the ones on the Clarett. Again, the Clarett really blew it out of the water when the Clarett was released. And I hope it gets a gold standard pass as well in the future. It's a very beautiful ship. And you have seating everywhere here, so if the crew needed to put on their shoes, they could do so. They could sit down. And also there is storage. These little things here are storage lockers, which is very, very nice. Any screens or anything? I think there is some type of entertainment screen as well for the crew. So you have, or maybe not, I don't know what that is. Some type of a dispenser or sleeping mask. Or, oh no, wait, there is something there. Yeah, you get a little bit of a screen. Oh wow, you can change the lighting of, oh that's cool, you can change the lighting of each individual pod. Isn't that neat? And here comes the light. And with the new sort of lighting tech, it looks really good. I really like it. That's great. Alright, what else are we looking at here? So we are going to do one other thing. We're going to change the lighting for the whole room and have a look at it. So this is what the ambient light looks like. The sleeping quarters for the RSI Perseus. Really, really nice. It's actually really, get a really nice, good mood. I like it with the lights off better than with the lights on. I think the lights on are too harsh. I like that sort of softer lighting. I think it's better. Alright, we're gonna go through here. Here's the bathroom. Get like a relatively big-ish sort of bathroom. I guess no, it's not that big, but it's more utilitarian, and it's really well designed. You have place for shampoo and other things. Now 6 people have to use this. You have a mirror. I'm just gonna press the button. You have your little toilet and a toilet paper. And then I guess above is your shower head. So I'm going to try the lighting in this room as well. It's pretty neat. And there we have it. So very, very nice room for the crew. Nice enough, I think they'll be more than happy. You got your first aid kit as well. Close this one off. I think that's cool, very cool. Beyond that, we've got what looks like an armory room. So a really cool armory room. And we've got suit lockers, which I guess, yep, you just take your suit locker. You're not supposed to have people in there, just a suit locker. So you take the suit locker and then you close it. It kind of closes at an angle. It's actually a little bit scary. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I think it's going to be a scary experience. Here we go. Whoa. Yeah, that's it. That's oh, you could use it as kind of like a prison. It's like, hey, I'm stuck in here. You know? Yeah, very interesting indeed. This is where the pleasure bots stay, right? For the crew, the pleasure bots. Anyway, that's really nice. I like that the crew can get geared and dressed and straight out the door. I think that's really, really cool. A very good design. This room has been this room has been designed extremely well. The crew room is excellent. So the crew room for me is excellent so far. Engineering, excellent. Really excellent. I like the way it is. I like the compact design. The mess hall, I would say it's very good. So they've done a very good job. And then we're going to go through here. So we're still on the main deck. Everything's labeled well. I need to refer this as the main deck. So mess hall. All right. Just going to keep going on the main deck. We're going to go forward. So here is that. So we were downstairs before with the cargo, and now we're upstairs. And I guess if you're getting boarded, you can hide behind these things and pull out a gun and shoot, or throw grenades, or do something, you know. It's kind of nice. What do we have on this side too? I think that's about it. We have the ladder going downstairs, which is nice. Some more cool looking panels. And we've got controls. I guess this is to bring the cargo up or down. Very cool animation. I really love it. The sound design is really good too. I saw this on Reddit. I think you can do like a basketball court as well. So you get a little projection of a basketball court and you can shoot some hoops. I would have liked if this line here was a little bit closer here to the edge. I'm very OCD, so I kind of see these things, but other than that, I think it's really, really interesting and really nice. And whoever put this basketball court in, that's some really good forward thinking, I have to say. Some really amazing forward thinking. And that's exactly what a ship would have with a crew that's going on a longer voyage. So anyway, we're going to go through here. There's more, I guess, component access and things all over the place. So, yep, and you have all these sort of like relay panels and fuses and things. A lot of engineering gameplay, so there's definitely going to be a need and a use for an engineer. Here are the main deck's escape pods 1 and 2 on this side, and I guess you're going to have maybe an NPC, because I don't think many players will enjoy this sort of role of auto-loading torpedoes. It's a little bit boring and mundane, but in the future probably an NPC will be doing it, so that's alright. Then you have the main turret here. Just going to enter the turret and we're going to have a look at what that's like. The ship is on an off state, but what I'll do is when I get to the bridge later, I'll turn it into an on state, and we can get to fire this weapon. This is what the ship looks like from the exterior. It's very metallic. It's like a little tank or a gunboat in space. It's actually very nice. And it's off state currently. It looks really cool. Anyway, we're gonna jump off this turret. We're gonna get back on this turret a little bit later and shoot it. Probably from the hangar. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go for time. I'm usually really bad with these things. I take forever. I tried recording one of these videos before and it was like 3 hours, and I was like, no way that's going to get published on the internet, and no way anyone's going to watch that, you know. So people like short videos. I'm very old school. I like sort of longer videos, and I like to, you know, really immerse myself in the moment. Here's the ladder going downstairs. So that's the main deck. I think there's nothing else to see. We've got a fire extinguisher here. I'm not sure why there's a fire extinguisher here. I guess because there's components close by, so it's fine. Yeah, we've had a look at everything here, and here is the ladder access. You can use the ladder to go up or down. We're going to use the elevator. I'm going to show the ship off with the elevator. Now we're going to the upper deck. So we've been to the main deck and we had a look at it. So we were on level 1, I guess. Now we're going to level 2. I like to refer it as level 2, so the upper deck or level 2. I'll just refer it as level 2. So everything is labeled. So we've got escape pod access immediately on this side. So these are the escape pods and captain's quarters. That's what the captain's quarters look like. With everything in the Perseus, it's a little bit cramped and small. Actually, the crew quarters were alright. The captain's quarters are feeling a little bit small, but not too bad. You have a little chair and a little table, and you have a little monitor. You can, I guess there's cameras all over the ship, or maybe cameras outside, or maybe just in the hallway, and you can see who's entering and if you want to open the door or not. You've got a little window which peeks outside. You've got a gun rack, which is really cool. You know, you can have your own guns right away. You have a little utilitarian bed, no more than the rest of the crew, but you have your own space, which is good. And let's have a look here. You've got a little bathroom. It's smaller than the one downstairs. It's compact. It's just here for you. You're the captain, and you get a little bit of private space and yeah, and your toilet and shower, which is cool. So that's very nice. You also have a suit locker. So not only do you get a gun rack, but you get a suit locker. So I think as far as functionality for the captain's quarters, it's really, really well done. And I think the Clarett, one thing I liked about the Clarett is I don't like seeing like the feet, you know. I like this sort of thing covered, if that makes sense. The table covered down the bottom. But CIG designs these sort of tables this way. That's fine. I like that the crew can just sit here and wait to be called as if there's two or three of them and you're disciplining them or something, you know, probably not in real life, but it's like a role play sort of thing. You know, it's kind of interesting, or being called up for promotion or something, you know. So I think that's very cool. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a lighting. I'm going to just check the lighting real quick. Again, I'm having issues accessing this button. It's not a big deal, but this is what, with the lights off, this is what it looks like. So it's a small environment, it's a small space. The table has a little bit of like an LED accent or whatever. It's kind of cool. It's not too bad. It's really not too bad. I'm just going to close the door so you guys can see without the lights in the corridor. Just what it looks like. Wow, look at this in the captain's bed. It's got lighting there. Got that little screen, and you can turn the lights on or off. It's not too bad at all, you know. It's for a warship. You have the bare minimum there to be happy and to survive. And from a roleplay aspect, it's very, very interesting and cool. I like these sort of things. Sometimes I like these things better than the actual game itself. I have to say. Whoa, I just got trapped in. Okay, trapped in my own bathroom. That would be embarrassing if you're a captain, but there you go. Really, really nice attention to detail and very beautiful lighting. And really, really nice. Captain's quarters. Small, cramped, but I think a lot of people will be happy with this. I certainly am, so that's good. Oh, I like that these doors, one last thing I wanted to point out. You can kind of see what's on the other side. Maybe it's got some transparency. It's kind of very nice. It's very cool. Beyond this, we have more windows here. And what do we have here? Let's see. Airlock. Ah, what is this? Let's see if we can open it. Is this like some type of exterior access? There you go. You have an exterior access on the ship. That's so cool. I wish we had this on the Mercury Star Runner CIG. We need something like this for the Mercury Star Runner so we can enter and exit the ship. I think this is definitely gonna be a good idea, and this is like fully pressurized as well, I'm guessing. Let me have a quick look. So if I close this, and if I close this, there we go. You have some pressurized space right here. How good is this, right? The design is top-notch. I have to say, the design of the ship, it's on a different level. And this is the future of Star Citizen, guys. So, very, very, very good quality here. And this is the exterior exit. This is what it looks like from the exterior. It matches my armor, surprisingly. And you have this little cover here, so if you get shot, you can duck behind it. You can pull out a gun and shoot back. You know, that's kind of cool. I like it. You can walk around the ship. You can look through it. Boy, she's really well armored, right? There's like a lot of space. This looks like a window. Is it a window? Yes, it is. It's the captain's quarters. Wow. It gets really dark. So here we are walking a little bit on the outside. And you can do that. So if you needed to repair something at some point, maybe the PDC turret, you could get in here and maybe just weld it or do something. So that's certainly very, very neat, guys. Very, very neat. Yeah, exterior detail. There's just a lot of it. It's a lot of it. It's really, really a gorgeous ship, you know. So, very, very happy with her so far. This has come out a lot better than I expected. I expected it to be good, but I didn't expect it to be like this. So this is like even above my expectations as far as like the design elements and the art and all the work that's gone into it. And also the accessibility, everything is very accessible, and we're going to put that to the test very soon. So we're going to start up the ship. Whoop, this is the bridge. So immediately, so to the right we got a fire extinguisher and fuses. To the left we got a suit locker. I'm guessing where there is a suit locker there's a place for a gun somewhere. Probably. But it doesn't look like there is, or maybe... Is this... Oh no, this is a weapons locker, sorry. My bad, my bad. This is a weapons locker. So we have a weapons locker here, which is cool. And then we've got 2 seats for the 2 gunners, right? So the 2 gunners, the one that controls the top turret, and then the one that controls the bottom turret. And then we have this beautiful, beautiful bridge and beautiful cockpit. So it's very different to all the other RSI ships, and I hope that the Constellation and Constellation Phoenix, Andromeda, and Aquila, Taurus, they all get this sort of like nice reduced strut look, and that sort of high quality bridge too. I think when they get the gold standard update, I think a lot of people are going to go back and get the Constellations, and they're going to drop things like the Asgard. My guess, just my guess. I like the Asgard too. I love the Asgard. But I think that the attention to detail on this RSI ship and on these RSI ships in general, like when I got the Asgard for the first time, I thought it was really nice, but I thought that some areas could have been worked around a little bit better, and I felt like the ship was artificially limited. I don't feel like that's the case with this ship. Like I just don't have that feeling. I feel like this ship is very, very, very well featured, you know. It's the Carrack equivalent of a gunboat, you know, so a lot of features. It's missing the medical thing, fair enough, but other than that, it's pretty good. So you've got this sort of like chair that takes you to the main sort of, I don't know what to call it. It's like the main bridge chair or whatever that takes you up and forward. And then you have this amazing, amazing panoramic sort of view from left to right. You have amazing views. It's almost like a fighter. The visibility that you get is really very special. You can see to the sides and to the back, nothing obstructing. I know with the Retaliator, I think with the with the Redeemer there's like an obstruction with the seat, but here everything is very clear and looks really good. You can see that big gun in the front, and you got direct communication with everyone, which is nice. That sounds amazing. So we've started the ship. Really nice sound design and sound animations. Very, very special. So I wanted to do something. I wanted to fire the front gun and just give you guys an idea of the sound. But we're going to do something else as well. I just thought about it. So I'm going to close this door. What I'm going to do from the bridge, I'm going to see if I can get downstairs as fast as possible. So here we go. Before my voice breaks, we're going here, and then we'll see if we can get on the ladder. I'm going to use the new ladder animations to slide down. It's a little bit janky, but it's fast, and here we are. We're at the docking ring, right? So it doesn't take long to get from the bridge to the docking ring or to anywhere in the ship, really. So I like that. I know with the Idris it takes a really long time to get to where you need to go, and with other ships too, so it's been designed really well, this one, the Perseus. Now we're going to fire the main cannon, and I love these windows. So it's good having windows on a warship You know, it's especially a modern warship like this. The claustrophobia feel is not really there. Actually, you know, the ship is relatively small, but on the inside, she feels big. She feels really, really big. I like it. These sort of, I don't know what to call it, pyramid doors. I'm not a fan of these because they restrict a lot of space. Like, I would have liked it if they were the other way around. So you have like, so this is the bottom and this is the top. But that being said, it's just a very minor sort of gripe. From a sci-fi artistic aesthetic perspective, it's really good. And if it's not a capital ship, because you have a lot less crew on the Perseus than this works. In a capital ship where you have a lot of people, that sort of restricted space might be a tripping hazard. But who knows, you know, that's just the minor nitpick. We're going to get inside the turret. I'm going to have a look at what it's like. Boy, this video is getting long, but I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me. I'm a very, very small channel, and I'm just getting into this sort of content, so it's my first sort of time. So we've got some guns. Do we have any? Let's see if we can have a look. So we've got the Mantis and we've got the Medusa. I'm guessing the Medusa are the size 8s, and you have 900 ballistic rounds. So once these rounds run out, you won't be able to fire anything else anymore. So you have to manage your ammunition very wisely, otherwise your ship becomes a sitting duck, right? What we're going to do here, so the Medusas are on, and is this entire firing group on? So what I want is, I just want these Medusas, right? So let's have a listen. Wow, that's pretty. I think the sound design for the guns could have been a bit better, more menacing, like a battleship sound would have been cool, like bang, bang. These are kind of a little bit, this is like a little bit flat sounding. So the sound design could do a little bit better here. I think the vertical, sorry, the vertical look of these turrets is reasonably good. I mean, you know, that's not too bad. It's not like you don't get like you don't get the whole range. There's definitely some type of a limitation to where you can aim. So you will need to position the ship in the right position. So let's try out the Mantis. So I guess the bottom Medusas were for bigger ships, and we're going to try out the Mantis. We're just going to focus on this group here. Well, these are pretty fast. I thought these would be slow. These are supposed to be for anti-fighter. That's pretty cool. And they overheat, so you got to be very careful. I think mine overheated. Anyway, so this is the gun. It's got a lot of space and a lot of visibility and a lot of motion. Like they've designed a lot of animations to move. They've put a lot of work into the ship. There's no doubt about it. This has been, in my impression of the ship is this ship is incredible as far as the amount of work they've put into it, and it shows, and it's excellent. It's really excellent. I would say that this ship is 9 out of 10 as far as the visual design, or 9.5 out of 10. Very, very minor things that I gripe about. I mean, do I wish that they would maybe fix them? Sure, but they're very, 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 very minor things, and you know, they're not immersion or gameplay breaking, or most people might prefer it in a different way, or would prefer it as is, right? So let me just double check one thing. Whoa, it's gonna be a bit tricky for me. No, don't move, don't move. There we go. Just wanted to change the lighting to see if it makes a bit of a difference in this room. Not really. It looks really cool. It looks exactly as auxiliary lighting would. Actually, I love the new lighting technology that they have in this game. It's very, very nice. So I'm really happy with this, you know. I guess if my channel was a morphologist, he'd talk about how well the ship is laid out and how accessible everything is and all these sort of things. I guess I'm basically saying the same thing, more or less. But I'm not an architect, so he's an architect. Those guys are architects. I'm more like I'm more of an artist, a teacher and an artist. So that's cool. What else is there to show? What else is there to talk about, really? I guess we can take the ship for a bit of a spin, but she's going to be really heavy, I know that much. But just how heavy would be something that we can find out together. And then I'll conclude the video because it's going to be probably pretty long. I like these animations, these ladder animations. I'm guessing the ladder would be the fastest way to traverse throughout the ship. So let's have a look at what it looks like to take off the Perseus. So the sound design is pretty good, minus the sound for the turret, which I don't really fancy. Actually, one thing I wanted to do before we do that, real quick, I'm just going to see if I can put some mood lighting here. Yeah, that's what I like. This is so cool. Very compact and very nice. I think they'll have to update the hammerhead, because the hammerhead's supposed to be the parallel of this ship or something, the you know, anti-fighter screen, but they're gonna have to update that ship because this ship is on a whole different level. So looking forward to more gold standard passes and updates. Anyway, let's get out of here. Oh wow, look at the legs. You can move. You can teabag people. You know, once you kill them, you just teabag them. Sorry, that was very childish of me. Anyway, let's go up. Wow, look at this visibility, eh? My goodness. Some ridiculous visibility here. We can see a lot of different things. I guess a lot of people are... Is that a Perseus? Or Idris? Well, all the Idris owners are probably... They're probably mad.
Official home of Crusader Industries, the
Let's go.
manufacturer of quality starliners. To learn more about our wide range of ships available for purchase, don't hesitate to contact your preferred ship dealer or visit the Crusader shop.
She's actually pretty fast.
For the rest of your trip, have a fantastic day.
You know, with this ship, probably the most painful thing to nerf would be the speed and the gun strength, right? So that's one of the reasons why these are bespoke, these guns, is because they wanted to control the amount of damage output. So yeah, in the future you'll get like these laser kits or distortion kits which will be able to change out the guns, and you can have different sort of types of guns, but you can't physically change the individual guns of your ship, just you'll have kits, right? And I'll probably end up getting a kit. Now I really like the default color scheme of the Perseus. For me, this is good enough. I don't need any other skins, or if I get skins, I'll get them in game. But there's going to be some really nice ones for this ship that a lot of people are going to go for. For me, I'm on a tight budget, so I'm going to try to aim to use any funds that I have towards getting other ships. So maybe buying something, you know, or even like a vehicle or something. I'd much rather a small vehicle than something like a skin. I would prefer the skin in game, but that's just me, you know. Everyone's different. Engines look really nice in the back. I like the positioning and the way everything is. Really cool looking ship. The sound on the engines, or the sound design for the engines, is really nice. So the sound design team is shining there, going above and beyond. So this is the default skin. You can't tell me that this default skin looks bad, right? Looks amazing, I think, you know. The Meridian skin. Like if this was like a custom skin that you could only get, and then they gave all the other skins, I think a lot of people would actually buy this for a lot of money. So the fact that they've given this skin by default, I mean, that's fair enough. You know, they've gone with, you know, we're gonna sell people with the other skins, but I think this is good enough. So really, really cool looking. Anyway, let's warp somewhere. Am I out of atmosphere yet? On this big ship? Yes, I am. Just gonna warp anywhere. Just gonna test how she flies. And we're gonna try to do some type of landing. So I love the view. The view is so good. In space games, people pay for the view, right? To see space. They don't pay to look at struts. So that's why I don't like some of the older RSI ships, and they do need an urgent update, and I'm sure they'll get it. If CIG happens to be watching, please, 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 the Andromeda. A lot of people have that ship in the Taurus. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And yeah, but really, really happy with this. I can only imagine it would get better with crew. I will test it with crew tomorrow. For the time being, I'm the only one that's online right now in my guild. And yeah, my clock is reminding me that it's getting later and later and I should get to sleep. It's almost, yeah, it's basically midnight, so I'm gonna see if we can dock the ship. Is there anything else I wanted to mention about the ship? Well, it's gonna get armor, so when the ship gets destroyed, there's a 38-minute cooldown. You can expedite it to 9 minutes, so 9 minutes is not too bad. I'm not sure if any other ships get the Perseus as a loaner, but I would hope that the Nautilus would get the Perseus as a loaner. If you had the Nautilus and are waiting on it, then you know this would be pretty cool to have as a loaner. You know, everything is visually as it should be, and it's really, really, really nice. They've gone above and beyond. They've killed it. This is a whole new gold standard. So I don't know who they consulted, but it just doesn't seem like CIG. It seems like they've got some influence or some insights from somewhere else, or they've put some really brilliant people together for this ship, because it's you can see the front radar here too. It's really well executed. It's really well executed, and this is going to be a very, very popular ship. I have no idea what it's going to cost tomorrow. I'm going to see what it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's expensive. You know, more expensive than the concept, a lot more expensive than the concept. But is it going to be in the 725 or 750 range? I'm not sure, but if this was your only ship, you'd be happy. Oh, did I mention that the cargo downstairs, right? So like, if you wanted just to make some money with the ship by yourself, and wait for a friend or two to join the game through referrals, then you could probably just, you know, cargo haul with the ship a little bit, you know, and survive. 96 SCU is good. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but there you go. That's another thing I'll mention. Ship looks really, really nice. We're gonna get out of nav mode. I'm gonna see if she slows down. So yeah, she's heavy. She feels like she feels a little bit like a Carrack, to be honest. Maybe just a little bit faster than a Carrack, but she feels heavy. She's like heavier than a Starlance attack, so that's how she feels. So maybe like the old Starlance attack, the one that initially came out before they fixed it. But that being said, good pilots will be able to use this ship quite efficiently, especially if they know where to target the bigger ships like the Idris or whatever, to a lot of great extent. This ship will fill a lot of vital roles.
Thank you, and please visit again.
And with the right crew, I think it'll be really cool. So let's see what type of docking they gave us here. I was really hoping for some type of like different docking, not hangar docking. But I guess this station maybe doesn't have it. You just got a traditional hangar. Is there like a docking ring or anything here? There's got to be a docking ring.
That request has already been granted.
Let me see. I was hoping to use like a docking ring to dock. I guess this station is small, it might not have it, or I'm doing something not quite right. Let's try on this side.
That request has already been granted.
Nope. Okay, we're just testing her, seeing how she flies. Very, very heavy. Heavy, but manageable heavy. It's predictable where this ship will end up going. Let me just try to go to a different station. Alright, so we've just got out of Quantum, and we've come to the station here where we're going to do one last docking, just to see how the docking ring operates and the docking doors operate. I have to say, visually everything is perfect, including these little displays, you know, the color coding and the design of them, everything is just matches and fits really well. So with my last remaining strength before I fall asleep,
Thank you.
I'm gonna see if I can request docking. So we got a docking port, which is what we want. And the way these things work from memory is, so we've got two different docking doors. We're gonna see which one is open. So the one to our left is closed, so the one to our right is open. So probably that's the one that works. We're going to limit our speed, so I'm going to use the speed limiter here to take down the speed in a moment once I get closer. And to be honest, she doesn't fly too bad. She's like you know, she's like a heavy tack, I would say. We're gonna adjust to this side here. And at this point I wish I had VR. Not VR, sorry, IR. So the reason I'm limiting my speed is because I don't want my ship to drift as I get closer. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to align these dots together. So it's basically your pitch and your yaw. So like your axes, right? Your sort of like your roll, sorry, I should say, and your up and down your pitch. And then the little square that you see, that red thing there, is your forwards and backwards, right? So we're going to try to make all of these green, and we need to be relatively close to the docking port. Just going to have a quick look. So we're going to make this green, and we're going to make, can we make this green? So now we've made both sides green. So see how the ship is slowly, very slowly moving. Going to drift towards, can I just rotate on this side? There we go. So what we're looking at here, if you look closely, if you've never done this before, is this is the docking ring. This is where we're supposed to dock. So we're actually a little bit too low. We need to get up a little bit higher. And we're going to strafe a little bit more. And I think we're not at the right angle. But again, we're going to make these things green. Green and green, there we go, green. And then there should be like a pip, another pip that says that auto docking can kick in. And auto docking is a key that you can bind to your keyboard, and it'll try to couple for you. I think that's the best way to do it. How close can we get actually? Let's see how close we can get to the docking ring. Still green here. I'm trying not to move the ship. So having a good look around, getting closer, and that little square will get bigger. That red square will get bigger as we get closer and closer to the door, and that represents forwards and backwards. So we'll see how close we can get it before we use assistance. Here we go. We can see things a lot clearer now. We can make out the observatory, the glass observatory, and we can make up where we need to land. So we probably need to go forward a bit. But with every micro motion, you're fighting the ship. So we need to go forward. So we're getting closer. So just FYI, I've only done this twice before. So just from memory. First time it took me like 20 minutes to figure out what to do. With the 890 jump, I was so lost. But you know, it becomes like second nature. See, the box is starting to move now, and if I go forward, it gets bigger. So at this point here, we're actually good to use the auto docking procedure. So I'm going to press the button, and I'm going to hold it down, and now I'm not touching anything, and it's going to auto dock me. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So one of the advantages of having a Perseus is you get to do this, and it's a lot better than spawning in a hangar, just from my personal opinion. So I'm liking this a lot more. I'm running out of water and food. It's good to stock the ship with some water and food. So I'm not doing anything at the moment.
Complete. Have a pleasant stay.
There we go. There we go. That was it. So we do engines off, everything off. It feels like coming home. It really feels like coming home. And this ship feels like the car or the voyage that everyone wants to have. One last look around the bridge. Look at the visibility, how nice the visibility is, right? That's very special. So there you go. I think it's an excellent ship. So just some insight. Some people complained about the shields, saying the shields are a bit squishy. With those balancing things, you know, it's work in progress. The game is still in an alpha state, so there's a long way to go until Star Citizen is released. But for a game in alpha, it really feels almost like it's in beta, very close to. Now we're going to walk out this docking ring here. Here we are, coupled and docked. I'm going to close the door behind us. Hey, that's cool. Gonna walk out here. Gonna go for a bit of a run, and we're gonna look back and we're gonna see what the Perseus looks like when we get to the very end. So yeah, this game in VR one day, if they have it, will be very special. So should you buy this ship? I don't know. It depends on you and depends on your budget and your CCU chain if you can get one. I prefer people get a CCU chain. But if you buy it outright, it's they've certainly done a lot of work on it, and it's really beautiful. I recommend it. I really like it. I think the counter to this will be like torpedoes. So you have one ship mass spamming torpedoes like a, I don't know, a Firebird or a Freelancer Miss or something. Will be mass spamming torpedoes. Then you have a Retaliator with size 9 mass spamming size 9s until you overwhelm the ship and blow it up. That's how I envision the ship would be destroyed. But anyway, if you guys want, you know, join us for IAE because that's coming up soon. You know, this has been really fun to make this video. If you guys like these type of videos, maybe consider liking and subscribing so I can make more of these. And maybe leaving a comment would be really, really cool. I'll leave you guys a referral code to my Star Citizen account if you guys want to use that one. And I'll also give you guys a link to my org if you guys are looking to play with some friends. We have a small org that's, you know, just getting started. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go to sleep. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video.